Now, live from Artie's Cut Rate Liquor Store, shooting range, candle shop, bowling alley, massage parlor, it's the Dave and Doc Podcast.
Hello, hello.
Happy night, happy night.
It is
Stormageddon,
Stormageddon. It's hit
Wintergeddon,
Knoxville.
Coachageddon, some sort of geddon.
There's all kinds of geddons going on.
It's one of those weeks, one of those nights.
It is. It's been an interesting week.
It has. It really has. The world might be coming to an end.
I think it might be.
And I'm not really apocalyptic, and you're like flashing in the screen. It's like there's like two of you just now. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It
But
like flashed. That's crazy.
there should be two of me though. I'm just saying.
Dos Dave Manos.
Yeah, a little bit of a new setup here, so we might have some glitches, but
It's okay.
it is what it is.
We're still here.
It is episode 68 of the Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Doc.
All things Dave and Doc on our website at daveanddoc.com. That's Dave, A-N-D, Doc, D-O-C.com. 30,000 subscribers.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, we appreciate you embracing the nothingness and the humor and just the general, just craziness that we have. You're like acting like you're the Flash. It did it again.
I know. It's weird.
I might be tripping.
Am
Am I tripping? Was you think it was the Hush Puppies?
It was the Captain D's.
This is the second time.
It's the Captain D's.
Second time we've had a show and we ate Captain D's.
I know.
I think they need to be one of our sponsors. I'm just saying.
I mean, right?
I'm just saying. I don't know a lot, but I think they should be. But anyway.
Happy New Year.
Hey, man, I know we missed last week. Had a little sickness run through your house.
Yeah.
Everybody recovered, though, I think, pretty quickly.
Yep.
And that was good. We're in a new year, new age. 2024 is here. Everybody's back at work, mostly kicking it, staying busy.
And here we are.
And we're getting a show, man.
Yeah.
On a Friday night because we like it.
The Friday nights are really good because
I like it.
We can
Especially, since you never know, we might not have tomorrow, though the storms have moved out now. I mean, school was canceled for wind. Potential wind and storm.
potential wind.
I was like, this I've not heard of. I'm like, what's about to happen? Are we going to be like in Twister? The cow's going to come like flying by us or something crazy? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what are we looking at? I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of rain apparently, and then maybe some snow next week.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
what I said. It's going to be like 8 degrees.
Yeah.
It's no good.
Kansas City, it's going to be negative 21 with the wind chill.
And a buttload of snow in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot of sports stuff to talk about.
We
But
do.
due to the inclement weather, we're going to do some weather dad jokes.
Cool.
Okay,
All right.
so we're going to go ahead and get into it because I know you're ready.
I'm ready.
What is a mountain's favorite type of candy?
A mountain's,
Favorite type of candy?
what's that?
Snow caps.
Well, I mean, right?
What did the snowman and his wife put over their baby's crib?
What?
A snowmobile.
Well, of course. Right? It's the,
What do you call a month's worth of rain?
what?
England. Or Seattle.
Definitely Seattle.
Where do lightning bolts go on dates?
Where's that?
Cloud 9.
Well, of course. They use their airline miles.
Right? Right? I mean, I thought that was pretty good. What do you call dangerous precipitation?
What?
A reign of terror.
Okay, of course. Right? I apologize, folks.
What do you get from sitting on the snow too long?
Blue balls.
Close. Polaroids.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Can bees fly in the rain?
Sure.
Well, not without their yellow jackets.
Oh, well, my God. It's getting worse. Polaroids was good.
What is the Mexican weather report?
I don't know.
Chilly today and hot tamale. We're going to hell for that one.
I was afraid to say it.
What do you call a wet bear? This is not a loaded question.
Weren't we just talking about this before the podcast? Aren't there doctors for that? I don't know. What?
A drizzly bear.
Well, of course. That's
What goes up when the rain comes down?
what's that?
An umbrella.
Oh,
What does it do before it rains candy?
it sprinkles.
Yes, it sprinkles.
Yes.
Oh. The last one.
I don't know what to say.
What did one raindrop say to the other?
What?
Two's company, three's a cloud.
Right? A stratocumulus.
Oh, no, I have to do one more. Why does Snoop Dogg need an umbrella? Yes, sir.
Oh, why?
Faux drizzle. I'm so glad I found it. Just
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's a world record. I think we did 11.
That's a lot.
The faux drizzle. I mean, I'm so thankful I found that. I was trying to. Some of that just wasn't good, but it's off the hizzle, faux drizzle, my umbrella, jizzle, whizzle.
Oh my God.
Snizzle.
Snizzle.
Anyway, sizzle.
So, yeah, a lot of sports stuff to talk about
In the drizzle.
in the drizzle.
18 inches of snow in Buffalo or whatever it's going to be. Anyway, yeah, lots of lots of stuff. Where do you want to start? Because
Yes.
I think this has been insane.
Yeah. So, but before we get to sports,
Oh, you got something for me? Okay, yeah, okay.
this is a conversation that came up today with
This was non-sports.
non-sports.
Okay, this is non-sports. Okay, sorry, we're gonna have a preface
For between me and somebody else who may or may not be my wife,
Okay,
and
okay.
I shared a story.
Lindsay, man.
I shared a story that she hadn't heard before, and I couldn't believe it because it just happened a few years ago. And I thought to myself, I said, "Self, that'd be fun to talk to Doc about."
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So here's what I'd like to know, and I'll be happy to tell my story
Okay.
because I don't care.
So this might be a story that I'm telling.
It might be a story for both of us.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. All right,
I'll tell my story. I have no problem telling my story.
Okay, I'm ready.
In your entire life, and you're 75 years old. So
That's right. I was going to say,
75
I've been
years.
here 3/4 of a century. Yes.
So in your entire life,
yes.
this will take some. Let me just say it, and then I'll explain.
Okay, I'm gonna let it digest. I'm not gonna just jump back.
Digest is a good word.
All right.
Digest is a good term.
That's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Digest is a good term.
I'm pretty pumped up right now.
The biggest or the worst shit you have ever taken in your life.
Oh man.
And let me preface. Let me explain. Not preface, but explain. I mean, and not like you wake up in the middle of the night and you go take a crap, right? Like, or you're sitting in a recliner at home, and then all of a sudden it's
no.
I mean, you're somewhere where you can't go.
Oh, I've got it.
And you have to hold it,
No,
and then you
it.
get there and you absolutely effing murder a toilet.
I've got it.
Oh, you know you're worse that quick.
It is.
I
Oh
love
yes. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. Okay.
And this was you.
It was something. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
No, please go ahead.
Okay. So this is so bad.
This episode brought to you by
This is so
Dude
bad.
Wipes.
So there's actually two.
It is two. Oh, no, sorry.
Right, and number two. No. There are two stories. I'm gonna go with.
Are they equally as bad? I mean, like
It could. Well, yeah. But
wow.
but I think I'm gonna go with this. The first time that there's two that come to mind. Number two, ironically, right?
Right.
Because it's actually sports related. Okay.
Oh, it's even better.
Okay. So in 2000 and was that 1 or 2? 2001. It was 2001. So fall of 2001. Okay. UT played Syracuse at Neyland Stadium. You know, in 98, we had played them at Syracuse. You know, that was the controversial pass interference penalty. It was pass interference, but we get that call. We end up beating Syracuse and go on to win the national championship. Anyway.
Yeah.
2001.
I remember
you were, your team was there.
They were.
They didn't win.
Almost all of the whole team was there.
But
there was one guy missing.
It didn't matter.
Is that Heisman Trophy winner guy?
Didn't matter. He was like 40 years old, yeah.
He was. Yeah, he was like 28.
It's like, I shave 6 times a day. Anyway.
I got to take my kids to school. I'll be late to the game.
So in 2001, Syracuse came to Knoxville, to Neyland, okay?
Yeah.
And some of my roommate Chris's friends, I had 4 roommates that year. We lived in Jefferson Park. It's now part of the Commons there on campus. It's over there off of Highland Avenue. And so he had some friends coming down. so before the game, you know, we were just hanging out, tailgating at the house, you know, hanging out, doing our thing.
Right.
And we grilled steaks. Well, you know, they didn't let you have, because this was around the time that the people at Fox, whatever it was, Fox Lake or whatever the name of the place was, they had a grill, propane grill, and it like blew up and like blew off the balcony and like set the building on fire. It was bad. Anyway, so Knox County had an ordinance: if you lived in an apartment, you can't have a gas grill. So you couldn't have a grill at the place we lived at. Okay, Jefferson Park.
Right.
So, but in that same time frame, there was a very famous piece of equipment. It was known as the George Foreman grill.
Yep.
And you could grill anything on the George.
Of course you could.
You know, because he's a gourmet machine.
He is.
Feeling lean,
clean.
with the little drip pan that caught all the droppings.
Right. Easy to clean.
Except you had to buy more than one because the grease was so thick it would fill that sucker up in no time. So anyway, we made some steaks. Okay. And if you know, and it wasn't a bad steak. It wasn't a bad steak for the foreman. But we put some Montreat steak seasoning on it.
All right.
And not just a little bit of Montreat seasoning. Peppered that some bitch both sides. There wasn't much steak visible because of all the seasoning.
Right.
Because I was told it was delicious. And we said, okay. So we put the Montreat seasoning on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we eat this. We have whatever else we had. You know, good times. Everybody's good. And so we head to the game, and we lived on campus, so we could walk to the stadium.
Yeah.
So we're walking to the stadium. Okay.
Things are jarring.
And I think about it, and I'm like, stomach feels a little bit rumbly.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Right.
Not really ever had that happen when we come to a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Get inside the stadium. It's worse. Okay. Now, I had this thing where I was always going to be there when we run through the tee. If I'm at the ball game, we're there when we run through the tee. I have never missed it.
Right.
Never. If I am going to the game, we're watching them run through the tee. None of this stupid mess where we come in after the fact, okay?
Right.
Still one of the greatest entrances in all college sports. Don't care what anybody says. I'm there, okay? So we're sitting there. And our seats, I think, were in F, which is bottom level. We're around like the 10, 20-yard line, okay? Okay. Well, you know, the band's going, you know, and they're playing the different things, doing it, getting close, and I've got a boom boom. And I'm in Neyland Stadium.
Yeah.
And this is back in the old days. They didn't really have like the stalls and things that they have now. They had the troughs where you could pee in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Their toilet for where we were at, there was a step up of brick cinder blocks.
Sure.
Kind of blocking you.
Yeah.
And then there's a royal throne to sit on.
Oh.
Okay. So literally, I mean, I am holding it. We run through the tee. And I declare to Chris, I was like, I've got to go. I've got to go take a shit. And he's like, what? He's like, I was like, I can't. So I am like moving swiftly. I mean, and it's. So I climb up on this thing, door. And I mean, it's like Stifler in American Pie. Like I'm trying, because it's not clean, damn it. It's nasty as hell in that bathroom. And so I am grabbing toilet paper, and it's like all you can get is a single piece. And it's just, and I'm like trying to nest build, because I'm like, there is no way that my butt cheeks are touching this toilet. Right. And I can't hover because it's about to go down. It's going to be, I'll have doo-doo on my shoes because it's wet. It is wet. I can feel it. You know, I'm in a sweat. I finally get the nest built. I mean, and you have to put some right there at the edge too, so your pecker doesn't hit the bottom rim where the seat's not at.
So it's not
God
WAP, it's WAS.
Right. Yeah, right. You do not want that to touch. You know, because, I mean, you know, if you have a college girlfriend, which I did, you do not want that to be affected, okay? I'm just saying.
Syphilis.
Right. None of this. None of that. So I get down on that sucker, and literally my hand is propped up on the cinder block, just. And I mean, everything inside of me destroyed it. And I couldn't get up. I mean, my legs went numb. It was like an out-of-body experience. And I mean, and you could, this is too much. You could see the Montreat seasoning, because of course it hadn't digested. You could see that in there mixed in with all the stuff.
That's even beautiful.
I mean,
that's beautiful.
I filled that sucker up. Filled it up. Got it all to flush. So there was nothing. Unfortunately, nobody came in the bathroom, because literally I'm like perched up on this thing, just demolishing it in a sweat. I mean, I was sweating.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's another one. I'm not telling the other one.
I'm going to ask you off air about that one.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But that is it. The largest volume, there's no doubt, in my life. The worst texture, no doubt. And one of the nastiest places you'd ever want to take a dump.
So,
can you beat it, is my question.
I don't know, but mine's interesting.
That's why you let me go first.
It is. I was in a helicopter. And we called it chop a shit.
We were in some high winds. I had to hang out I had to hover on the.
There's been a few times, because, you know, I like spicy food, right? So like I've had a couple of instances.
And sometimes it's not a healthy spice.
No. And so, but this wasn't a spicy thing. This was, so several years ago, I got laid off from a job and basically took a summer off. I just hung out and watered our new grass.
There you go.
And
see, that's nice.
our water sewer bill was $400 that month.
Because you were doing your thing?
I was. I had all this like remote stuff that was on Wi-Fi.
Because I'm just doing my thing.
I had super
water
green
in
grass.
our sink. Yeah.
And so eventually I decided to go back to work. And when I did, day of, right, I go to the office. And most of the day is meeting with HR, right?
Yes.
And about 20 minutes into the old meeting with HR, something's not right. And I'm like, oh, it's a new job. Maybe I'm nervous. I mean, like, I don't really get nervous like that anymore. It wasn't nerves. And at one point, the HR person looked at me and said, hey, are you okay? Is it too hot in here? Maybe it's just too hot in here. Because apparently I was sweating. Because it was getting close.
Your body was stimulated.
And so
your parasympathetic nervous system was in overdrive.
And so she's showing me around the building, right? And she goes, hey, we've been in here for a few like hours. Like, you know, if you need to use the restroom or anything, just go ahead. And I'm like, oh, well, hey, that'd be great. So, but I realized she was like waiting on me in the hallway, right?
Oh no.
So like I couldn't, so I just went to the urinal and the whole time like trying not to, you know, blow the back end of my ass out while I'm like taking a whiz. So I come back out, right? Then I sit through a meeting And I'm not kidding here when I say it was to the point where I'm like ready to look at the guy who owns the joint and say, dude, I am going to shit everywhere. My stomach is hurting at a level that I can't describe right now. I had the chill bumps on my arms.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Chill bumps.
It's like the meat sweats. It's
It
the
is.
doo-doo sweats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a real
Like,
thing. No.
you know, the
like I
top
said,
of-
your nervous system's on fire.
The top of my hair, or top of my head, I'll show you folks. Okay. There's not a lot of hair there. Like I could do this and it was just sweat. Like I was sweating. Like it was to the point where there was no way for me to sit. Like everything hurt. And I'm like, I have got to shit. And so then I need to go do my drug screen, right? Because you do that like day one, and they send me to the little hospital there.
Yeah, the little occupational whatever, the occupational medicine place.
And so I go there, and there's a line of people, and I have to wait to like show my card and everything. The whole time, I'm trying to scope out bathrooms. And so they say, okay, cool, you need to go over here, right?
Oh my
and give your
gosh,
card to this person, right? And I do so. And she says, oh, okay, cool. She goes, she said, cool. She said, we'll call you back when we're ready. She said, it won't be too long. There's nobody else in this little area, right? So I know that they're going to call me quick.
Right.
But I can't do it. Like, I mean, at this point, we are 3.5, 4 hours in to after the fact when I needed to shit. Like, I mean, it was so like,
Oh my God, the fact you were holding it.
Oh, it
that
was
long.
horrible. And so I go to the first bathroom. I go to the first bathroom I see, and the fucking door is locked, and somebody else is in there murdering a toilet. And I'm like, I don't see any other bathrooms, and I don't know what I looked like. 'Cause, you know, you can't see yourself. But I found a nurse, and I said,
Sense of distress.
I said-
I'm sure that was their general thought. They were like, he's going to show up positive for the marijuana.
and her little badge said Cindy. And I said, Cindy, can you show me where another bathroom is that might not be occupied? That's how I said it. And she looked at me like, let me show you. She walks me to a bathroom. She goes, no one's ever in here. It's like a corner of the hospital or whatever, you know, right? I go in there. Sure enough, nobody there. I lock the door behind me. And let me just tell you, when I get in the stall and I drop the pants, I didn't clean nothing up. I didn't care. There could have been shit on the toilet seat.
There was no nest building. Oh,
No,
Dave.
it was just going to happen. I'm like, if I get hepatitis, okay, I'm just going to get it, right? I'll have to explain to Lindsay why I now have syphilis.
like this was in the name of just trying to get a job.
Dude, I sit down,
Oh no.
and it wasn't just that it was an instant relief. It was the amount of shit that came out of me.
It was a rim rock.
I can't describe to you. I bet I probably had pants that fit better after this. Like I shit, it had to be 6 pounds. It had to be. I didn't weigh it. I thought about it, but I felt like that'd be a little weird. And I didn't have the proper equipment.
I was going to say the proper equipment was really.
I was just going to kind of, hold it up and say,
What really determines that? Yes, this feels like weighs like a baby.
And like I'm there and I'm like grunting and this, I mean, it just will not stop
Who
coming
does
out.
number 2 work for?
And it's not like it's diarrhea, right?
No.
Like it's just solid.
See, I had it all. So at any
Solid
given time,
shit.
you've got about 15 pounds of stool inside you.
I dropped it all.
And you probably lost half of that, I bet.
Dropped it all.
Yeah, because when the pressure builds up, man, it's got to go.
And
got to go.
Like the
Wow.
smell was disgusting, and I'm there, and like sweat was dripping off my nose. Like I was like in just distress, but at the same time going, oh, it feels so much better. And like, so I go back out to the waiting room, right? Like after like I cleaned myself up, and good God. And they had apparently been calling my name for 10 minutes.
No.
They're like, we thought you left. I'm like, no, I had to use the restroom, and it was a thing. And she goes, oh, I understand. And I'm like, okay.
It's like,
great.
no, but I don't think you really do.
No.
Because somebody going to have to go in there later, and that stuff's been locked up.
The pain that I had, like, and it's never hurt. Like, I mean, it was just, and then you get to a point where you've held it so long, and your body's like, dude, listen, it's coming out.
Well, it's pressure based.
Yeah. It's like, it's coming out.
It's pressure based. Oh my.
Oh my God. And it was not a one flusher.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to say
That's okay.
3.
Oh, wow. That's
3
a lot.
flushers.
That's a lot.
The first flush didn't even look like it did anything. It was just like a joke. It's like, we swirled it around a little bit for you.
We loosened it up a little bit.
And the whole time I was in there going, it was awful.
Dude.
That's
a good story.
I've got more.
That's a
but that one had to be had to be the worst. And that was just a few years ago.
I haven't had anything recent. I will say that.
It was like to the point that like I actually remember how good I felt.
Wow.
After I exercised that demon that was in my anus.
That was in the anus. It was hot and bothered and sinful.
It was.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
I'm just glad
Eve proclaimed it.
It was a 2-stall bathroom, but I'm glad I locked the door behind me because nobody wanted to be in there. Like nobody.
That's pretty good.
Nobody wanted to.
The aromatics alone. Somebody would be like, that's bad.
Somebody died in here, Jim.
That's a bad one.
Oh, and it had a hospital too. And like, I mean, it's
That's
like
hilarious.
And when I told them, I'm like, I'm sorry, like I had to go to the restroom, like it was a thing. And they're like, yeah, I understand. It's like, yeah, okay.
I mean, they were being nice, which is good. I mean, that's good.
They were, but then I was
Wow.
fine. Then I felt so good.
Wow.
Like I could have taken a nap then, you know. Went and bought some new pants. I was like 2 inches, smaller around the waist.
Can you weigh me again, please? Please.
I'm now a 32 around.
I feel pretty dang good.
They're gonna fall right off of me.
Oh my God.
I shit the rest out.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. Neyland Stadium, though. Back in the day.
The worst thing that I ever saw,
in the day.
though, and this didn't come out of me. I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and I was at a movie with my brother Jeff. Jeff goes to the restroom and comes back, and he goes, "Dude, you have to go see that." And I'm like,
What are you talking about?
"Hang on, where did you go, and what did you see?" And he's like, "Dude, I went and took a whiz." And like, he don't even go like a minute, right? He came back, he goes, "You have to see it. Like, I can't describe it." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Just go." He told me which one to go in, right? It was a movie theater. He said, "You need to go in there and look in the stall and look." And I'm like, "Okay." I go in there. Whoever dropped that, they have to be dead. I mean, it was about this size. I am not joking. It was it wasn't as tall as this, right? Probably about kind of like a Coke can, right?
You and the dadgum Coke can.
Yeah.
Everything's the size of it.
Everything's the size of a Coke can.
The thickness.
The thickness.
Oh.
It was the biggest turd I've ever seen in my life. It was
my gosh.
huge. And I'm like, when I go back and I sit beside my brother, I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, they have to be dead. Like they have to be like
I ruptured my anus and bled out on the toilet. I'm in the here to heaven with Jesus after I took a dump.
They just blew their ass out. I'm like, they just blew their ass.
I mean,
I was looking around the theater and I'm like,
let's see. Whose O-ring's out right now? Who blew out the O-ring?
Couple large guys there, and I'm like, that might have been your shit. That might have been yours. But that was the biggest one.
I mean, that's a big anus that opened up to let that sucker out.
Last story. The worst thing I've ever seen though was in Tazewell, Virginia.
Oh,
And there was this little. There used to be a Magic Mart there.
Magic Mart.
It's kind of like it's
like the Quick Sack.
No, it's better than a Quick Sack,
Okay.
but it's kind of like a Walmart, just a smaller version.
Magic Mart. Okay.
Yeah, and it was
like an old Walmart back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there was
Magic Mart.
And then there was some other stores. There was like a little strip mall. Right?
Okay. Yeah. What happened?
So I go. I can't. I'm seeing it in my mind now. So I go I was with mom and dad, right? I was a kid. I was probably 10, 11 years old.
At the Magic Mart.
At the Magic Mart.
You just trying to get some toys.
I remember what I was looking for.
What were you looking for?
A little mini piano. That's what they called it. It was like a little keyboard, but it was real small.
Oh.
Came in this little case, and you could play it.
Play tunes.
Yeah, you could play tunes. That's what I wanted. And we found it.
You don't want like G.I. Joe or He-Man or
not that time. Not that time. That's what I wanted because a friend of mine had one, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
like,
I want one.
I want what he has.
I have to have what he has.
So you were coveting his piano.
I was coveting. Yes,
Okay.
I was.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure. Okay.
I've coveted a few things in my life.
I mean, sometimes that happens.
I
mean, it does. So
I was getting ready to say something I'm not going to say. So Dad and I go to the bathroom, and there's a crowd of people standing around a stall. Never a good thing. And so we walk up there, and Dad's like, "Oh God!" And I look, and I'm not kidding. Like the top of the bowl was like here, right?
Yeah.
Lid was here.
Yeah.
Shit was here. It was a mound of shit. And so it's not the first person or the second or the third or the fourth that shit in there that concerns me. It's the last guy that made
Because
the
it obviously
mound.
touched his anus.
Yes.
Ew. Oh my.
There's flies everywhere. It was the worst thing.
Oh, shit!
It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
Like,
That's.
I still
And
remember.
that dude let it touch his butt cheeks. Either that or he was a master hoverer.
Yeah, maybe he was. It was the handicap stall, so maybe he used the rails to stand.
I bet that's what he did.
I bet he did.
I mean, that is some messed up, like,
I've never seen anything like that.
premeditated dookie. I mean, who thinks of that? It's like, watch this. We're going to have the largest pile of crap in the Magic Mart that they've ever seen. So anyone who comes forth to take a dump shall witness our success.
Oh,
I balanced on the handicap rails to get that sucker, that mound right where he wanted it.
there's flies
That is
everywhere.
nasty. That's
It's the
nasty,
grossest thing
That's
I've
some
ever
nasty
seen. It is.
stuff. Oh my gosh.
And like, so
That is gross.
And so I told
That's
Dad
gross.
because I had to pee, right? And Dad's like, "We'll find another bathroom."
Yeah.
we're not even gonna be in the same
We
room.
are leaving like right now. Going right now. Oh my God.
I've had a lot of things around shit in my life. I just realized that.
That is nasty.
It's gross.
That's bad. I don't have any stories like that.
No, I'm glad you don't.
No.
I'm glad you don't.
No.
That was pretty disgusting.
No.
Speaking of disgusting, Madonna's 65 years old.
Don't do it, Dave.
And she doesn't look 65. She looks 85.
Don't do it, man.
She looks like on stage she's wearing a diaper.
Oh, Dave.
She's super thin, and then her butt kind of does this thing. You can't see that, but I mean, it's like
Is there curve to it?
it looks like.
Or you think she's got like butt implants?
So it looks like either she stuffed a towel there,
Oh, God.
or she's wearing Depends. That's what it looks like.
Oh.
Oh, it's bad. And it's like she's on stage and she's singing and she's jumping and dancing around. She's trying to. Do you remember the video with Cher on the ship? On the naval ship.
If I could turn back time.
You remember that because like she was getting a little older then.
And she had like the fishnet on and all that. Is
She
that
was
right?
wearing basically nothing,
Yeah, that was it.
but she still looked good enough to like. Oh, okay,
Yeah. Not so much.
Madonna's trying to do that now,
And it's not good.
And she's 65.
And it's not a good look.
No, she's 65 years old.
And it's not a good look.
Yeah.
So, what made you think of this after talking about a mound of poop?
Well, this was all.
Did she poop on herself?
I don't know. Maybe the diaper was full.
Oh,
This didn't make me think of that. This was just premeditated stuff to talk about for the show.
so
But-
she's not. It's not Madonna.
No, it's more like Rodonna
Oh my,
or something.
geriatric Donna,
Yeah.
or just Donna.
Yeah. I mean, her daughter's like, what's her name?
Lourdes.
Lourdes. She's like almost 30.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just, I don't understand these celebrities that like still think they look the same way that they did. And
Well, you just don't
because
you don't want to get old.
because the fans don't expect that. I don't go see Def Leppard and expect,
To pour some sugar on
Joe
you.
Elliott to go jumping in the crowd. Like, I don't.
Sugar on me.
don't expect that.
In the name of love, wear your diaper with thee.
I was shocked that Kiss was like
Come on,
able to like
wrap it
do
up.
a whole show. You know, like I mean,
there's enough uppers out there still to get somebody through a show.
That's true.
I mean, come on now. Not that they did that, but I'm just saying. I mean, you can get up. I mean, you know.
I guess that's true.
Do you know any major figures in America that are propped up potentially by medications, Dave?
I do.
Do you really?
One in particular.
That's very interesting.
He's
Interesting.
very recognizable.
I mean, I've heard that rumor.
Yeah. So he lives up north.
Yes. He
In
gets
a house that's white.
Yep. Some people call him Sleepy.
Yeah.
They do. Probably right. Anyway, we'll get in trouble for that. That's okay.
But
I mean, right. And so I think the better point is why do people hang on like that? And I guess it's just because, you don't want to get old. I mean, well, not even that, but you don't want to necessarily change and realize you can't do something like that. I mean, and we're not celebrities, but I mean, I realize there's things. Well, you're a professional broadcaster.
Well,
right. I think.
Hang on, my diaper's itching.
You don't like admitting you can't do what you used to do.
But I mean, even she could probably still sing.
Could she have really sing though, Dave?
I don't know.
I mean, could she really?
I don't know.
Not badly. I mean, she was not bad, but I mean, I think a lot of synthesizer stuff. Obviously, she was quite attractive at one time. Kind of just that.
Papa don't preach. I'm a dirty whore. Wait, is that how the song goes? I'm not sure. I have to look up.
I actually always thought she looked better when she had like the black hair, like the darker hair.
Yeah,
I actually
too.
liked her much better with the
Me
dark
too.
hair. But I like dark hair. Anyway, is what it is. People just wanting to hang on, and they can't give it up. They can't accept it.
It's like Kenny Rogers.
For one reason. Well, I mean, Kenny Rogers messed himself up because he kept getting plastic surgery, and then it didn't even look like himself anymore.
Hang on.
Right. I
can't even
it
do
was
it.
right. Well, no, because it was. Well, I mean, because it wasn't. It was too much, and it was like, this is not him. What is this?
Yeah.
Then that's.
God bless her, Dolly Parton too. I mean, the last interview I heard with her, it's like she sounds like she's slurring her words, and I don't think it's because she's high. It's because her lips are stuck together because they're so big.
Right. Yeah.
And
they interviewed her. She did she did her rendition of Rocky Top when we played Georgia.
She did, yes.
And
said she couldn't hear.
And it was Georgia. And couldn't hear. That was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then they interviewed her afterwards on CBS, and I mean, I thought she gave a good interview, but I mean, you could clearly tell she still kind of has a little bit of that because, but I mean, still Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's hard to give it up because you're used to being in the spotlight, and that's part of who you are, and so you're still trying to be that sexual being that Madonna's kind of always been, and it's like, yep, that's not happening.
I know the feeling, man.
You got a diaper on.
I know the feeling. That's what people say when they look at me. They say that is a sexual
gonna
being.
Be a crap night. That tonight's gonna be a fill up your toilet night.
If I'd had a diaper on that day, I could have just done that.
No, you wouldn't want to do that.
No,
you'd have had some bad diaper rash.
Can see it now.
You'd have been.
Sales are going to be forecasted to be higher.
You'd have been burnt. Your legs would have been burnt. It would have been all over your taint. Your taint would have been mutilated. It looked like somebody had thrown acid on your taint because basically it had.
Put some Astroglide.
You need some salve. I need some salve right now. Salve right now. Salve right now. Oh, that's it. But yeah, Madonna, not so much.
Speaking of salve, Norby Williamson. Does that name mean anything to you?
No. Norby.
He is an executive at that shithole called ESPN.
How did you work that?
Well, because his asshole.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah, his asshole is burning right now.
Well, look at him.
Pat McAfee burned him.
Oh, this is the guy. Yes, Pat McAfee forever stands by claim ESPN executive was trying to,
called him a rat.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reasoning is because they're talking about all the viewers that they lose after that jackass goes off the air, Stephen A. Smith. when he goes to the McAfee show, but they're not accounting for all the viewers on YouTube that McAfee has. So they're only looking at ESPN numbers. And so they're like, well, we're losing a lot or whatever. And apparently, according to ESPN, the numbers are the same as they were when it was SportsCenter coming on after Stephen A. Jackass goes off the air. And so McAfee basically said it and then doubled down on it and said, yeah, this guy's a jackass. And it's hilarious because they paid McAfee all this money, and then McAfee says, yeah, my boss is a jackass.
And trying to mess me up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to sabotage
I'm looking at,
the show.
I forgot that was, yes, but I was aware when this was happening. Pat McAfee don't care, man.
No.
He does not. And I mean, and why the mothership decided to do that. I mean, and good for him. I mean, he's getting paid $17 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say no to that, but I mean, he's got other outs. That's the other thing too.
He does. Yeah.
I like Pat McAfee.
I do too. He's funny.
I mean, I think he's funny. I mean, he was a good punter. He was.
He was.
For that team I don't root for anymore. Bet that felt good missing the play. I shouldn't say that, man. He's got like severe respiratory disease and is like in the hospital.
I was going to say he's
actually not doing well. So
he might not make it through the weekend.
So I'm going to shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's not nice. But Pat McAfee was a physical punter.
Yes.
Wasn't afraid to get in there and tackle.
No.
Was actually a good punter. Anyway, so had a decent career. But he's gone on to being more, sensationalistic and doing all these things, getting fired up. I mean, when he called the dogs and then picked Bama, I mean, that is a legendary YouTube moment right there.
It was.
I mean, it's, it forever lives. But I mean, of course, it was live on Game Day on ESPN. But I mean, that is immortalized. That
it was funny.
1 minute of whatever that is.
Right.
And that was awesome. And Theo Vaughn is just speechless because he told him he was going to pick Georgia because I guess they talk about it, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And then he flipped and picked Bama. That was awesome. Anyway. So Norby Williamson, this guy, part of the mothership, here's the thing. I mean, he's probably doing something to sabotage him. That's what they do over there, right?
It is. Yeah.
And I mean, and what's everybody, they don't like it when somebody's up and coming and somewhat famous and blah, let's tear him down.
Yeah.
We got to build up Stephen A. Man, screw Stephen A. Smith, okay? Talking about we'll get to that. Deion Sanders, big Alabama's coach. Really?
Let's just jump into it because that's
really.
Yeah, he said.
Come on.
For you folks that don't know,
Nick Saban retired.
Who
saw that coming?
And he said, and Stephen A. said, I think Deion Sanders would be great for that role.
And he wasn't joking.
No, he wasn't joking. No,
he was not joking.
It's like, what? I mean,
they went 4-8, dude.
And he even prefaced it by saying, hey, this guy was number one in the transfer portal last year. He's number one again for the
and guess what?
Year.
They're still going to stink.
They won 4 games.
They're still going to stink. There's no continuity to their team. He can't recruit worth a toot. He can get them out of the portal because he's promising all this money, but he can't get a cohesive team.
No. He's
just recruiting the guns for hire. You're not going to do it. You can have some of those, but you can't have all of those.
Yeah.
That's not the way this works.
I think if he went to Bama, and of course Bama at this point, as a Friday night where we're doing the show, they've already hired their next head coach.
Right, they got Kalen DeBoer, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good hire for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they found someone that proved that they could build a program and sustain it. And that's what they expect in Alabama. Deion, he hasn't proved anything. He hasn't proved anything. I mean, nothing.
Kalen DeBoer wins wherever Kalen DeBoer goes.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's going to have to win national titles. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I mean, that's how it is in the SEC. I mean, you've got to be competing at that level because, it just means more. Oh, but you know what I'm saying. I mean,
I'm gonna go take a shit.
It's like you were talking about when we were eating dinner. I mean, there is going to be an expectation,
Of course.
and I mean, and that's just. But I mean, they have the legacy. I mean, Bama has that legacy. It's like you've got to win a title, or you're not going to get it. It's just the way it is.
And let's be honest, he's not the future of Bama, because that's not how that works. When you replace a legend,
Right.
That's Jimbo Fisher.
That's
when you replace
fair.
a legend,
That's fair.
that longevity, 5 years, maybe,
Right.
and then
It's
you're gone
right.
because you're
Right.
trying to replace somebody that can't be
the
replaced.
guy who replaces the guy.
Yeah.
and
it's
that's
not going to work
That's
out.
just pretty much impossible.
And so he's going to get a ton of money for about 3 to 5 years, and maybe even get a national championship out of it. And good for him. And then he'll be on, and then they'll find the next coach.
well, I mean, right.
I
Again,
hope that doesn't happen to him. He seems like a really good guy. He seems like a great coach, but that's just generally how that happens.
And again, you're following a generational coach,
Yes.
and for this day of football, for this era, I mean, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
If not the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right. He's in the conversation. There's no doubt.
He's in the conversation
There's
at least
no
second
doubt.
or third.
There's no doubt.
At least second or third.
Oh, whatever. Shit.
I mean,
I know Bobby Bowden. You know, it's like dadgum. You know,
Dadgummit.
Bill Walsh. You know, all your. You know, come on, Homer, man, you got to
did
know.
Bill do? But did Bill
some
Walsh
of these
do anything?
people.
Yeah.
Some of these people. Come on, man.
let's see. Bill Walsh, did he do anything?
You-
Bill Walsh?
Yes, he did. That's
Did-
why.
did he have any
he's
kind of lasting legacy
and
in the
he
NFL?
Is in the conversation
It'd be funny if people were
because
still
we're
running
coming
his,
to that. Because we're coming to that too.
It would be funny if people were still
We're-
running his
we're-
offense. Oh, wait, hang on. That's interesting. But anyway, so Nick Saban retired. That's the bigger story here.
And people didn't see that coming.
No,
I
they
mean
didn't.
that's crazy.
People were musing about it kind of like before the national championship that maybe he would retire, and I laughed at it when I heard it.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way."
Saban's going to wait till he wins the national championship, and then all of a sudden, and I listened to the interview with him and Reese Davis, and he said he had a meeting with the team at 4 p.m. and it went up to 3:55. That's when he made the decision because he had went back and forth with it. So, yeah, I didn't expect it. I don't think a lot of people expected it, and
I mean, their whole offensive line transferred. I mean, that was kind of weird. Like the day after they lost, everybody jumped in the portal. That was kind of weird.
it was interesting too because he said that, and this might be the reason why. He said more and more players were asking him now before they came there and after they got there, "Hey, are you going to be here for 3 or 4 years?"
Right.
And he said before that was never a thing. He's like, "Hey, listen, if they don't fire me, like that's going to happen,
Right.
then I'm going to be here." And he said, "I couldn't be truthful anymore about
Right.
that
Because I mean, he's 72.
yeah." He was like,
At some time, Father Time.
yeah." He said everybody thinks they can coach forever. He says, but that's just not how that works. And he said,
Right.
you know, so he said, I just felt like it was time. And he said, I'm at peace with it. And he seems to be at peace with it.
And they, I mean, in essence, they lost in the national title game.
They did.
I mean, they won the SEC, beat Georgia, who
did.
is still one of the 4 best teams in the country, period. Beat them,
Yeah,
win the SEC title, and they lost in the national title game.
they did. Yeah,
Did you give me a thumbs up?
I didn't.
Dude, that was awesome.
I didn't.
Yes. Hallelujah. You know, so I mean, in essence, I mean, you're going out on top.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost to the national champion. You all played in the title game, which we kind of talked about that. Of course, I thought Bama was going to do it because I just couldn't bet against him
Yeah.
in that scenario. And they had a chance to do it. Leading in the fourth quarter, they should have won. And then they would have beaten Washington. I have no doubt in my mind they would have beaten Washington. But Michigan proved superior, and then they just thumped Washington. Anyway, but yeah, Saban retiring, what a shock.
And Michigan
And
winning.
he's the GOAT for me. He's the GOAT. I know Bobby, but Bobby don't have 7 national championships. Didn't have that. Now you know yeah.
but it's Bobby.
I know, man. Hey, Bobby Bowden is in the conversation,
Of course.
and you can't leave him out.
There's
ever.
a lot of people in
It
the
doesn't matter. It
conversation.
doesn't matter. But I just, I mean, the 7 titles, the you know, stay 2 stupid years with the Dolphins, which he should have never done. But then Bama doesn't get him.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
that just worked out perfectly. Anyway, I mean, yeah, he's the GOAT, and I can't believe he gave it. I thought for sure that he would win one more title, make it 8, and that would be it. I really thought that would happen, and I still feel like he had a legitimate shot to be able to do that. But between transfer portal and all those other things, and going to recruits, and you can't promise them anything, and it's not like college basketball where you can do a one and done.
Yeah,
like a Coach K kind of really embraced that, adopted that, and it's like we don't have to stick around because we're only doing 1 year, and I'm not leaving the year that you're here, type of thing. So, but yeah, I gave it up. The GOAT.
I was pretty surprised. The one thing that I wasn't surprised about was Michigan winning the national championship.
Damn it!
Because one of us said months ago, like, that's the best team in the country.
True.
And again, that game against Alabama
and if you
might have been one of the best games I've ever seen.
And if you recall, what did I say the week before the game? I
said, Dave, you're stupid.
No, I did.
And
I
you
said,
don't know what you're talking about.
I said, I believe Michigan is the best team, but Alabama will beat them because I couldn't bet against Nick Saban.
Yeah, no, you did.
And I think the bookies made some money on that. And in my boys in the Granger, I bet they feel that. Anyway, but I couldn't bet against them. I just couldn't do it. But I mean, Michigan was the best team. They were best team all year.
Yeah.
And they won, and that was a title game. And you see it because, I mean, Michael Penix couldn't do anything.
No.
And Michael Penix is a good quarterback. And he couldn't do anything against Michigan.
Got beat up in that game.
They beat him up.
Yeah.
They had perfect coverage schemes. I mean, he was so flustered. That last gasp when they threw that pick and they went down and scored the final touchdown. I mean, he had Adunza whatever on the left, like wide open, and he threw it into like triple coverage.
Yeah.
Because he just couldn't, because he couldn't get turned mechanics wise.
Yeah.
Because he was just so flustered.
Yeah.
And I mean, he just locked in. He's like, I'm just going to sling it, and they picked it off.
And Michigan is one of those teams, I think, had they even played Georgia, they just match up with people because they're just strong up front.
Right. I mean, both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
No, I mean, clearly it was Michigan's year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was their year. They just dominated. And the sad thing is they're probably, there's a decent chance that somebody's going to try to void this title over this sign stealing mess.
It could be.
Even though they said Harbaugh did not, they can't link any of it back to him. It's back to that institutional control thing. It's like, really, head coach, you really didn't know that was going on. Pete Carroll, you didn't know that they bought Reggie Bush a house.
Joe Paterno didn't know, though, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, now they did go back on that after his death and say, well, maybe some of this wasn't all, forthcoming. There's the problem with that was, and that's not really what we're trying to talk about. What Paterno should have done was made sure that something was done instead of saying, well, we reported it and we just left up to him. No, that's not good enough.
No.
And that's where he screwed up. And more people suffered because the monster wasn't taken out.
Right.
You have to cut its head off and then you have to stab it in the heart to kill it. And they didn't do it. They reported it, but you didn't take care of the problem.
Right.
And that was his responsibility.
It was.
And because he had more power than anybody else on campus.
Yeah.
You got to take care. I'm sorry, you got to take care. And that's and I hate that because it tarnished his legacy huge. Because I think aside from that, which was the ultimate, just deal breaker on all positive stuff. I mean, try to do a lot of good things, down there. Anyway, we're going to get away from that anyway. But back to Saban, he's the GOAT to me. Incredible career, 7 titles. 11 or 12 SEC championships. I mean, was in 9 title games or something like that. They lost to Clemson twice.
Lost to Clemson twice.
Because they were alternating years for that 4-year period. It was like every other year the other one won.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he made another one and got beat or not. Anyway. yeah, just crazy. I mean, college football shakeup that way. We can speculate on what else is going to happen. I mean, a lot of people got bigger contracts. Mike Norvell got a bigger contract. Steve Sarkisian, all these people Jimmy Sexton represents. Jimmy Sexton's making big bank because he got all of his people raises, and then let's let Kalen come in here because he actually really wants the job. I mean, what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Smart businessman. Anyway, from the University of Tennessee. There you go. Jimmy Sexton, businessman extraordinary. Anyway.
Speaking of businessmen.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft's a businessman.
He is.
Businessman.
He is a businessman.
Sells cheese.
Very, very well-known businessman.
Cheese peddler. That's what he is.
He is that.
Told Bill Belichick to take a hike.
They mutually agreed to part ways. How about that now?
Once again, mutual about
once again, you're talking about the GOAT conversation. 24 years, 6 Super Bowl championships.
Yep.
9 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Yep. Philly Special gets them, and Eli Manning gets them. But the last couple years after that TB12 leaves, 3 out of the 4 seasons not in the playoffs. 4-13 this year. Horrible quarterback situation. Mac Jones is a bust. Sorry.
Yes.
He's a bust. Bailey Zapp. I mean, really, whatever. What undid Belichick? Personnel moves. He drafted bad. Being in charge of everything is basically the de facto GM. I mean, like, for example, you'll like this one. Who did he not draft at wide receiver? Dave. Who did he not pick? That was what year was that? 2020? 2020?
2020. Who did he know?
Was it 2020 or 2020? Yeah, 2020, I think.
2020 or 2019?
Maybe it was 2019.
It was 2019.
When did your boy come out? When did your boy come out from South Carolina?
I think, Debo hit in 2019.
Okay, sorry, 2019. My apologies. My apologies. You know who he drafted then? N'Keal Harry. Who's, guess what? He's not even in the league anymore. And he also passed on A.J. Brown.
He did.
Wow. I mean, that could have made Mac Jones look a lot better.
It could have.
And so, those guys are having 2 heck of careers in their respective teams, if you will. Probably trying to hang on to legacy both with the line, with the defense, keeping it inbred, with bringing coaches back like Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniel in and out. Now he, goes away again. Offense struggling mightily. You bring back Bill O'Brien. What a mistake.
Yeah.
So I think his personnel moves, I don't think people were saying, well, it's the league passed him by. Well, not so much. I think in coaching the X's and the O's, I think he's still one of the greatest defensive minds, period. The problem is you have to have the personnel to pull it off. And he didn't do a good job of keeping the personnel right. And ultimately, it's a results business.
Yeah, I mean, you can be one of the greatest coaches of all time, Bill Walsh. And if you don't have the players or the personnel,
right, the players have to win the game. I mean, it's still where the players have to win.
Yeah, and I mean, he finally got rid of that jackass at quarterback, but they didn't do a good job of finding someone that they could build upon.
Right.
And I know they thought that was Mac Jones, and a lot of us thought that maybe that was Mac Jones, but it wasn't Mac Jones.
It's not Mac Jones.
No.
And I mean, yeah, and again, drafting bad, having some busts, coaching situation, you needed to do something different. Probably need to relinquish some control, and not a situation where he was admitting that openly until like after they lose the Jets. Like, oh no, actually, I might be willing to take a different role. It's like too late, Bill.
Yeah,
you should have said that probably 3 years ago when we knew it wasn't going in the right direction, and you should have listened to the analysts and let somebody else start doing this stuff.
Yeah,
and so basically there it is, and you got fired. But you get the right to mutually part ways because of what all you have done.
Yeah, they did the whole thing, and they shook hands and at the press conference and all that stuff and all this. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, those two will never speak again.
No, absolutely not.
That is the last time they will ever speak.
Absolutely not. I mean, maybe I don't know if Patriots even have like a Ring of Honor or something, but maybe if they do something like that. But I mean, that may be something where, I mean, Kraft is 82. He might be dead. It might be his son saying, "Hey, come back and we're going to induct you into whatever the Patriots have."
Well, you remember Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson,
right?
Just I mean, within the last year,
right? Fortunately, they're both right. But they were both young enough.
Yeah.
That I mean, 20 whatever years later,
and apparently Troy Aikman had a lot to do with that. Like, that basically talked to Jerry Jones, like, "Dude, come on, he's one of the best coaches.
What are you doing?
I mean, come on."
Yeah,
and they and very gracious of Jerry Jones to put him into the Ring of Honor, and at that shithole down there in Dallas, Cowboys. Sorry, Dallas, you beat my team one time in the NFC Championship. That's bad enough, but two, nope, I'm done with you. You do not exist to me anymore.
They might meet again.
I think it's a fair
they might meet again.
That goes into the last thing we wanted to talk about, actually, which is the playoffs this weekend.
Don't forget Pete Carroll, though.
That asshole Pete Carroll got fired.
I mean,
yeah,
I honestly, that shocked me in the pro world more than Belichick being relieved.
It did not shock me.
That's very interesting.
I have heard.
Maybe I'm just ignorant. I guess I'm just ignorant.
Well, that's what I tell people. No.
Vista print.
That's right. Yeah. No, so what I watch a lot of 49ers stuff and a lot of, West, NFC West.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that's kind of been prevalent over the last 2 or 3 years was like that the ownership was not overly happy with Pete Carroll because they felt like they were underperforming. They weren't happy about the Russell Wilson thing. They weren't. I mean, they were just
even though he was right.
Even though he was 1,000,000% right.
I'm going to point that out.
And
everybody's we'll get away from that.
But it's like, I think everybody saw the Russell Wilson thing. It's like, I think we could win with somebody else that's less expensive and whatever. And now we know because Russell Wilson.
Their problem this year was they started out 5-2 and ended up 9-8.
Yeah.
I mean, started out pretty promising, and then just the wheels kind of came off.
He hadn't beat the Niners in a couple of years.
Right.
Yes. They
outscored badly, too.
Yeah, they've gotten beat up. And again, and then, they got to the playoffs last year, played the Niners in the playoffs, and that didn't go well either. I mean...
You're trying to keep up with San Francisco, and he wasn't doing the job and hasn't been doing that for a few years.
And that's how that division goes, right? Like, I mean, for years, everybody was trying to keep up with the Rams, and the Cardinals had a couple of good years. Then Seattle and the 49ers, too. So, I mean, it's like, so one of those teams is always on top, and you're chasing them. And right now, it's the greatest team that there's ever been. Ever.
Hey,
ever.
And I'm going to point out, yet again,
yes.
Who said at the beginning of the year who they thought it was going to be when everything was said and done?
I'm sorry, my headphones went out.
Oh, would you shut it? Shut it.
You did.
There's only 2 of us in his room, and you's not the one. What is that?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, man!
I have no idea.
There must be like some slang stuff that's happening right here, man. And it's like code words. Who is it? Balloons.
I have no idea.
Thumbs up.
I have no idea. Like,
Phantom graphics.
I seriously, you folks don't see this, but it's a new version of the software.
It doesn't show up on their end?
No, they can see it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But if you're just listening to it,
if you're just listening, then you're just shit out of luck. But I have no idea.
That was crazy. It was like celebratory balloons.
It was.
I'm celebrating myself. Yeah. Here we go. Hey, little hero.
It is. I like it. You got a thumbs up before.
I picked him, dadgummit.
I know you did.
And if everybody stays healthy, I'm telling you, I'm feeling good. We're not going to Vegas, though. I'm just telling you, we're not going to Vegas.
I'm a little worried about them playing the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
No. Screw them. No. Listen, that was a one-off game. They will not play like that again. No, that was a one-off, and I don't know what happened. They got that bad game out of the way. There's no way that would happen if they play them again. Somebody's going to upset Baltimore. You just mark my words. Somebody's going to upset them. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody's going to beat them. Somebody's going to beat them.
So let's do some game picks here for this weekend.
Go Niners.
Well, the Niners get.
I know they got the bye.
They get to hang out.
They and the Ravens both have the bye.
So Browns at the Texans.
Oh my goodness, I'm not betting, man. I'm not betting against C.J. Stroud.
No,
I'm going with the Texans. What a great year he's had, and you know, David Tepper can kiss it. Just so you know, I mean, he totally threw that drink on that guy. I'm gonna tell you something.
He did.
You know, that's garbage.
Yeah,
that's classless garbage. You're worth like $200 billion or whatever. I don't know if it's that. Whatever he's worth. You know, 20.
It's
whatever.
up there.
Whatever. It's ridiculous. You know that they were talking some crap to you, and your immature butt gonna throw a drink with his back turned. If you're gonna throw the drink on him, let him turn around, man up, and do it while he's watching you do it.
Yeah,
and then let's see what's gonna happen. Chicken shit. I mean, that guy. So suck forever, Carolina. I mean, you know, you've already run through 3 coaches with this loser being there. Of course, the previous owner was a misogynistic pervert. So I mean, you know, that's what sunk them. Anyway, but C.J. Stroud, man, I mean, let's not forget, Peyton Manning had 28 interceptions his rookie year in the NFL. Holds the record.
Yes.
So it's the dubious record that's never going to be broken because nobody's ever going to play a full season sucking it up like that because they're going to bench him for whoever's their backup veteran.
Right.
C.J. Stroud only threw 5 picks the whole year.
He did.
Now, it's different age again, so things are different. You know, you can't touch anybody nowadays, but I'm taking the Texans.
I cannot see the Browns losing this game.
I mean, I actually want Cleveland to win.
About this Cleveland
I want Cleveland to win.
And I think
Joe Flacco is what it is.
I think Cleveland is the team that's going to knock the Ravens out of this thing.
Look at you.
And I think,
I know, right? The humanity and the irony of that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Flacconoid beaten.
They're favored. Browns are favored.
They are. I think that I still.
You're going to make me flip my pick.
I think it's Flacco and the Browns.
Said, what's that coming down the track? The mean machine in the orange and black.
So I think that
ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious dog pound fan. Go dogs. Go dogs. Go brown dogs. Sick 'em.
I think that
give me Cleveland to break all their hearts.
I think Cleveland's defense is just.
I'm going Cleveland, and you just.
I convinced you.
You convinced me. I'm going Cleveland.
I can't see Cleveland.
Cleveland rocks.
That's true.
But it's hard. But C.J. Stroud has had a heck of a year.
He's unbelievable.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, people were down on him from the beginning. That guy is good.
People went down on the other quarterback. Oh wait, that was a whole different story.
Bryce Young's in trouble. They got to get him some help. Number one, he's only 5'10". They totally have lied about his size. C.J. Stroud is a specimen. Anyway,
he is.
I'm gonna take Cleveland. Joe Flacco,
the Flackinator,
with
Deshaun Watson.
Joe Flacco got Myles Garrett. They got some running game,
and Myles Garrett will take a helmet off somebody and just beat the shit out of him. Right?
He's not stable.
He shouldn't be in the NFL. I'm just throwing that.
I mean, that's Mason Rudolph.
That whole thing. I don't care what he said to him. I really don't like.
But I don't think he really. I shouldn't say that because we'll get. Do you really think he said something?
It doesn't even matter.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, he took it his own helmet
and tried to hit him
in
the head, and hurt him.
It's like he should have been in jail. Like I don't.
Well, no, I mean that is. I mean that was battery. Yeah. All right, I'm going with Cleveland. Right. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I'm gonna go. Let's say 28-23.
28-23. Okay. All right. Okay. I will say Cleveland. I think 21-17. Okay. I think it's a close game.
It's a close game. I like it. I think it's a 1-score game. Yet, but I flip my pick.
And the game that America is so pissed off about is the next one on Saturday night. America's so pissed off, and I get it because it's on Peacock. Mm. And Peacock, for all you folks out there who says, oh, well, now I got to download Peacock on my smart TV. It's not free, folks.
That's correct.
You have to pay for it.
That's correct.
It's $5.99 a month.
That's correct.
You have to pay to watch this game.
That's correct. It's like a pay-per-view game.
It really is. And America is pissed off. They can't believe the NFL is letting this go on. I'm a little surprised the NFL because about 10 years ago, maybe 15, the NFL talked just in passing about. I even think it was just said that like the Super Bowl's so big we could probably put it on pay-per-view. I don't even think they were serious. And people went nuts. They're like, oh, no, you do not do that with the Super Bowl. Now, because they know there's fans like me that'll just pay it and watch the game like I'm going to Saturday night. Matter of fact, I've already paid my $5.99. So I also bought.
Have you really?
Of course I have. Yeah, I'm not missing a playoff game. Listen, hey, I paid for NFL Sunday Ticket this year on YouTube, right? So
well,
I could watch all the Niners.
But you watch the whole season.
I do.
Again, but we're talking one game.
I know. It's going to cost me $6. It's cheaper than a ticket. And I'm just going to.
And you watch from home. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Number one, because I don't care.
You're just going to come over here.
Here's the thing. I might do that. Now, I like Mike McDaniel. You know, Mike McDaniel had another just laughable summarization of, you know, just he called Father Time a dick. I'm like, Mike McDaniel's crazy. So, you got to love it. But, I don't care a thing about the Chiefs.
No.
And I don't really care that much about the Dolphins. I definitely don't care about the Chiefs. I'm not watching that.
Both teams 11-6, and it's going to be a wind chill of -21.
Chiefs are winning. Miami can't play in that crap. They can't.
I agree. I think the Chiefs win that game, and I don't even think it's close because I think Miami just can't. It's Miami. You're not.
Yeah.
Half of your season's played in.
I think it's like 28-17.
I think that sounds about right. I could go with that. 28-17.
Yeah, I think they get it going. They just can't play in that mess. It's just the way it is.
3 games on Sunday. Mm-hmm. We have Steelers at the Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. But their winning window is really closing fast.
I think
they got another division that's awesome, but their window of going somewhere is and so they're going to win. They're going to beat the Steelers. I think you know, if they could ever get Josh Allen to be consistent for playoff string of games, they got a chance to get to the Super Bowl. The problem is that he just doesn't prove to be.
You don't know what he's going to do.
Consistent.
Yeah.
For at least 3 games, 2 games, whatever it is, to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He can't do it. It's just that one-off. Now here's the thing. They start out, what were they, 6-6 or something?
Oh, yeah.
And they were on a win streak right now. So, you don't necessarily want to be playing them, but you don't know what you're going to get either.
No.
But I'm taking them because I'm not a Steelers fan, never have been. You know, so I think it's Buffalo. I think Josh Allen throws for 2 scores. I think he runs for 2 more. I think the Bills get some kind of turnover, special team, some sort of touchdown, and a field goal, and I think it's 38-21.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a whooping.
Yeah, I could see. I don't know that the Bills. I think the weather is going to be pretty bad.
That's true. There's going to be like 10 inches of snow, so it may not be that much.
I think it's more like maybe a 21-10 game or something, or 20-10.
Yeah,
just because I think.
But I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a nail biter.
I don't either. I think the Bills will win that one. Then on Fox at 4:30, Packers travel to Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys.
The Packers and the boys are making some noise on Fox Football.
I want to predict this one first, if that's okay.
You can, yes. And I should have allowed you to do all of these.
Oh, no.
But this is the one you wanted. Okay.
Cowboys lose in the first round.
Ooh, no.
I think Dak has a terrible game.
And that sinks them.
And I think it sinks them. I think the Packers are just
former team of Mike McCarthy.
I think it's just good. I think the Packers are just good enough. And their defense is just good enough. And I think once Dak has a couple of like a fumble or an interception, I just think that
he'll be shaky.
I don't think it's going to be the same guy. I just don't see. I honestly don't see the Cowboys beating them, even though the Cowboys are at home and they're going to be heavy favorites. Probably double digits.
It's a touchdown.
Just a touchdown.
I was just looking up the line.
Yeah. So I still think the Packers win it. I don't think the Packers. I think it's like a 3-point game.
My one knock. Matt LaFleur teams underperform in the playoffs.
Particularly the conference championship games.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've laid an egg. Now they've gotten to the conference championship game, so I think that, I mean, there's your point right there. But they also had a different quarterback. Say what you will about his weird self and all the things and the contriversial
Unbelievable
comments.
quarterback.
I mean, why would you say that about Jimmy Kimmel? You're an idiot. Shut up.
I don't know.
Shut up. Y'all have a beef over whatever. I mean, you're talking about threw him in there with Epstein.
And so what if he's on Epstein's list? I'm on there too.
Just kidding. And not even, but you know.
I know. Like, why would you say? It's a weird thing to say.
This guy's crazy. Anyway.
It's a weird thing to say.
So, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Shut up. You know, shut up, Rogers. Discount double check, your stupid ass. Oh, wait, they fired you too because you're a weirdo fruitcake. And now they have the Chiefs and their commercials are funnier. Anyway, even though I don't like Chiefs. Anyway, Dallas is going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win. I think Matt LaFleur's team underachieves. They kind of made a run here, kind of overachieved a little bit, got in the playoffs, in the last week. But I think their inconsistencies sink them. I think that it's a close game though, but I think Dallas gets out of there. I think it's 24-21.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think 24-21. But I think it's very close, but I think Dallas gets out of there with the win.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good. I'm glad we disagreed on one.
I mean, I did flip my Browns pick because what you're saying makes me. And I mean, what was I even thinking? I was going to bet against Joe Flacco. I mean, come on,
Flacco, man.
That is so stupid.
Let's see.
And then the last one,
Sunday night,
that is on NBC, not the Peacock. It's actually
this one's
on NBC.
This one's on the Bird Network. There, the Rams at the resurging Lions.
How about that?
Yes.
And I mean, Lions still feeling a little disrespected, obviously. Amon-Ra St. Brown got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Snubbed. That's bad. I mean, he should have been in the Pro Bowl. He should have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is. But I'm taking. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the Lions.
Wow.
Because
Stafford's old team beats his new team.
I don't feel great about this though, because I mean it's the Lions in the playoffs.
If
they're gonna have a letdown.
If this game was at whatever they call that place in LA, Transvestite Stadium.
I don't even know what it's called.
Whatever. I think it's Transvestite Stadium. It identifies as a stadium.
Okay, it does.
Big
good.
vagina.
That's good.
But I think if it's in LA, I would probably take the Rams close. It's in Detroit. It's their first playoff game in a long time. The fans are going to be eager to boo Matt Stafford.
Which is a little sad, honestly.
It is, but I get it. But I think that the Lions win this game. I do. I don't think it's I think it could be like last possession of the game kind of thing. I think I just don't think Jared Goff is that good, to be perfectly honest. I think he throws some picks. And I think that defensive line for LA is going to really wreak some havoc against the Lions, but the Lions are at home. They're finally in the playoffs. That's just too much juice.
And they're a better. I mean, they have come a long way as a team.
Yes, they have.
And kudos to Dan Campbell. And what really kind of turned them around last year. I mean, they kind of ruined Green Bay.
They did.
Last game of the season, and they came out there and said we're playing to win, and they beat them.
Yeah.
And good for them, and they kind of carried that momentum on into this season.
Yeah.
And have really played well. And I mean, Jared Goff is not, superstar Hall of Famer type stuff, but he's not a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not bad in LA. I mean, don't forget, they went to a Super Bowl with him.
They did.
They just happened to play a very, very good Patriots defense and lost 13-3.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
Terrible game.
And they were like, we don't, probably the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They were like, but we don't have enough firepower with him, so we got to trade. And they got Stafford, and they got some splash, and sure enough, they went and won that ring. And good for Stafford. He deserves a ring.
Cocksucker.
The guy deserves a ring. Anyway.
The cocksucker.
I get it. But anyway. So, but
if we come down with an interception in that game, we're back in the Super Bowl, and Stafford's sitting at home playing with his.
It's true. It's true. I won't.
We dropped an interception.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I know. Y'all have been right there on the cusp, man.
And then that lady falls off the stage when they're partying, and Stafford takes a drink of beer and walks away, and his wife's like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, "She's dead. I'm going to go party."
Yeah.
Anyway, Lions
win.
I think the Lions win.
Lions win. What's the score?
I honestly think this is like a 24-20 kind of game. I think the Lions win on the last possession.
I'm gonna go 28-24.
Yeah.
28-24.
I could see it. And then Monday night, in the as they have ruined Monday Night Football, outside of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, who I really like, they've ruined everything else. They've taken the music away. It's all stupid now. It's just awful. Production quality.
Is it in the air tonight by whatever that guy is? That what it is?
It's that Brian Lucas or Josh Smith, Combe Lucas.
It's not Luke Combs.
Is it not Josh Lucas?
Josh Lucas was the actor.
Oh,
no, he does the home. He's the voice for the Home Depot.
Oh,
I
don't know any of these people. Reba McEntire, somebody sings it.
I don't think it's Reba. It is a dude.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No, maybe.
But Monday Night Football.
I bet he identifies as
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so that's...
We might disagree on this one.
That's those assholes from Philadelphia.
Philly special.
Versus the jackasses down in
Tampa.
In Florida.
Tampa Bay.
So Eagles, Bucks.
Am I going first?
You go. Do you want me to go first?
No.
Okay.
Tampa Bay is going to win. Because Philly is atrocious. They have no team spirit. They are not playing as a team. They have more talent, and they should win that game, but they're not going to win because it's coming loose at the hinges for them. And I don't think they're going to galvanize and make a run. I just don't think it's going to happen. I thought that might happen. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Tampa Bay in an upset, in my opinion. Philly should. There's no reason that Philadelphia should not beat them and make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. It's not going to happen. I'm standing alone. I know. It's okay.
So this game,
Baker Mayfield gets his contract on this game.
This game, when the schedule came out, I saw it. And you're not standing alone because I said then when I saw the schedule, 35-17 is the final, and Tampa wins it. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close.
Knew I liked you, brother. I'm telling you, no, because they have fallen apart.
You know who broke them? Folks out there, all you fans in Philadelphia.
This is why he's smiling.
Philadelphia was the best team in football. Nobody could stop them until this tiny little team from Santa Clara, California came to visit. And this guy who was dead last in the draft, a terrible quarterback, system quarterback, can't throw the ball, and shredded your fucking ass for 3 quarters. Shredded you. And what have you done since then? You
Nothing.
won one game. You got your ass handed to you by the 49ers. The Niners may not win a game in the playoffs, all right? We may lose in the first round.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
But I can tell you this right now. We kicked the shit out of the Philadelphia Eagles. And for all you folks, it says, oh, the score would have been the same.
No.
We would have beat the Niners last year in the NFC Championship and all that stuff, regardless. I'm just going to tell you folks right now, I'm telling you, it was the same team then as they are now, and it would not have happened. You would have got one late on you. That's what
Yes. Yes. I agree 100%.
I think we broke them.
Because they came back the next week and had to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
And Dallas thumped them down there in Dallas, which was surprising, but it was the ass whooping that they took from the Niners.
Oh, they got beat up.
They lost their whole team identity because it was like, oh my gosh, they just absolutely destroyed us.
Shit, what of a head coach that they have?
Yeah, I'm not.
I can't look at him.
I'm not a fan.
I can't listen to him talk.
No, I'm not.
I'm like,
they've fallen apart. He's going to get fired. It's going to happen. If not this year, he might last one more year, and he'll be gone. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, and I mean, and
They've got a great team.
and he is broken. The team is broken, and it shouldn't be that way.
Well, they were whatever and 1, right? They were like 10-1 or whatever, and 9-1 or whatever. And 2 weeks ago, when we talked to Stats said, the rumor around the NFL was they
10-1. They were
the most miserable 10-1 team that you've ever been around.
Yeah. 10-1, and then go on that streak, and they win. One of their last
wearing
6
that
games.
toboggan over his head, and he just has this look on his face.
Everybody looks miserable.
He's like that flippin' reporter that interviewed Trump from CNN. She just has that stupid smirk on her face. It's like, just shut the hell up. Like I only want to see her from the nose up from now on. Like I can't look at her. She's always got when she's interviewing people, she's going. It's not resting bitch face either. It's like resting asshole face.
Oh my gosh.
So tell me about your story. So you were kidnapped and held at gunpoint?
That's so mean.
What a fucking witch.
So you think it's a blowout? Tampa Bay is going to blow them out.
I think they're broken. I think you're absolutely. I think
they are
a broken football team.
But they should win the game. I mean, they have the better talent to win the game, but they're not going to win. They're not going to win down there in Tampa Bay.
That's a well-coached team in Tampa.
That's right. And
Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback.
I'm telling you, he's going to get his contract because he has, yes. And kudos to him. You know, he went to Carolina where everybody goes to die now, and he survived it.
Carolina's become the Raiders of the future day.
They cast him aside down there in Cleveland. And that was a bad decision.
Do you think he's living in the stadium in Tampa
Jimmy
now? Do you think that's where he's at now? Because he was living in the stadium in Cleveland.
I mean, he could have been right.
I love those commercials.
I know.
Those were funny.
Dude, he was not playing bad in Cleveland at all. Now, they're doing better, but it's actually because of Joe Flacco, not Deshaun Watson.
Well, Deshaun's getting massages. He's busy.
Damn.
He's busy.
We know he's hurt. He can't massage himself.
Come on.
So he's got to.
Just rub a little lower.
That's right. I didn't do anything wrong, but I've settled with everybody. Oh, that's interesting. We just wanted to make it go away. Yeah, that sounds like guilt to me.
I didn't know it wasn't a happy ending place. I had no idea. I thought that's what it meant. It said satisfied customers. I'm like, well, what?
Oh my God.
And the final episode of the name.
That's right.
Episode 68.
Woo. Coach again, football again. Earth is ending. I swear to God.
It is?
I'm telling you, the storms, all this craziness. Nick Saban retired. Who saw that? Nobody. Pete Carroll gets fired. Apparently, you saw it. I didn't think that was going to happen.
It didn't shock me, but like I didn't know. I mean, I was still a little surprised.
But GOAT in college, GOAT in the NFL, gone.
Well, yeah, Bobby's been dead for a while.
God love his soul.
Hang on, let me.
But you know what he doesn't have? He doesn't have 7 titles. You know what else Bobby doesn't have?
What's that?
A 1988-99 national championship. It's the Dave and Doc podcast. He is Dave, and I am Doc, and all things are at www.daveanddoc. That's Dave A&D Doc DOC.com. With all the crazy effects that we don't know how the hell we got them going, but we got some crazy effects.
No idea.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Germany. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, England. It's raining a lot wherever you're at. We appreciate you following us like that. 30,000 strong all day long. Football this weekend.
Yeah, football this weekend.
Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there.
Stay tuned for episode 69, which we'll just love to say.
It's my lucky number.
It's mine too.
How about that?
All right, folks.
I'll take 34.5 though. See y'all. Bye.